Alrighty, here we are in the, I'm calling this the porta shop because I bought this little carport from the good old Maynards, and here's the project. If you don't know, this is my 1976 Chevrolet K10. It's got a 350 V8 TH turbo hydro 350 and a NP203, I believe, transfer case with a PTO, so that's pretty cool. I've been working on undercoating this frame. I just pulled the cab probably 2 weeks ago, maybe a week and a half. And before I had pulled the cab, I pulled the truck bed, got the rear end all stripped out. It needed new shackle hangers, all that kind of stuff, because it was starting to rust out. Even the frame was starting to get pretty rusty in some areas. I know that right here you can see those little areas where the chassis was starting to get rotted out. Thankfully it didn't get too bad, so I was just able to coat right over it, and this should make it last a lot longer. The coating that I used is Herculiner bed liner. You can get it at most hardware stores. I paid, I think, $100 for a little kit, which ain't too bad. And then I just used a bunch of hardware, just started bolting things down. I still have to do, I think this is only the second coat of Herculiner. I still have to do one more coat. With that one more coat, I'll be able to seal in all the hardware, make sure nothing will rust out. So I got that all done. I need to get the suspension all ordered up, as well as like the hanger brackets and stuff for the leaf springs, miscellaneous things. I need to get the front radiator assembly, the whole front end. I need to get it torn out. As you can see, it's just sitting on bushings. I know that there's 2 bushings. Earlier today, I went ahead and got the fan stripped out. Last night, I was even able to get the engine started. It did run when I bought the truck. We actually drove it until I blew out tires. I didn't have spares, so I just had to get it towed. But the engine did run. It ran fantastic. There was nothing really wrong with this truck to begin with. It was just in really rough shape. It needed a lot of cleaning, a lot of TLC. I'm gonna end up pulling out this motor. I did run it last night just because it hadn't started for probably a month since I bought the truck. So I decided, hey, I'm gonna try and do a cold start, and she fired up pretty easily. Wide open headers, as you can see. I started loosening up some little things that were rusty, like the header bolts. Thankfully, none of these snapped, so that's great, both sides. This is my first ever truck, so I kind of had to get used to some of the little things. I got the basics of it. I mean, your distributor, all that kind of stuff. Thankfully, these older trucks are really simple. Need to get this drive shaft pulled out. Probably repack the little U-joints. Probably get the drive shaft coated. We're going to be pulling out this motor. We're going to be washing the underside of the motor just because it's got a bunch of oil. I don't think I'm going to be painting this motor. Mainly because when I paint stuff, I'm worried about scratching it. So I'll probably not be painting this motor. I'm just gonna clean it up. Maybe use some high temp clear coat, and that should seal in most of the stuff so that it doesn't rot out. I know that I will be coating the transfer case, maybe transmission, engine block. It'll probably just be how it is. Just kind of clean it up, and then while I have the motor and tranny and transfer case out of this, I'm going to be able to sand the front of the chassis, get this lined, plop the motor, tranny, everything like that, plop that back in. And then I'm going to be doing the front suspension as well. Need to get some motor mounts for this thing, some new motor mounts. One goes right there, one goes right here, one right there, and then obviously you got your other side. If you haven't looked at my prior videos, I've been redoing the entire cab because the floorboards, rockers, cab corners, even like the back of the cab was completely rotted out. So I've scabbed in some new sheet metal into that, and then I'm actually working on painting the cab right now. My plan is to paint it a beige color. I also thought the other day, I think I'm going to be doing a two-tone. I'm going to be doing black on beige. That's going to be the color of this truck. You can see that this front end is sort of rotted out as well. I think the coolant was leaking, and it just kind of rotted that out. I'll probably just be cleaning that up a little bit. It's not really nothing too crazy structural, so I'll probably just be cleaning up and cutting out some of the stuff. Maybe I will repair this, or maybe I will just grind it down with the wire wheel and then use some Pour 15 paint over rust and just coat it with that, and that should give it plenty of life left to live, and hopefully this won't keep on spreading. You can see I'll just probably just cut this out and then just coat it, just trying to get rid of most of the rust. But let's get back to the main point of this video. So here's the porta shop. Like I said, I got it from Menards. I believe it's a 10 by 18 foot little carport. Got it from the good old Menards. I know that Harbor Freight has one. I was initially going to get it from Harbor Freight, and then I decided to stop at Menards, and they had one cheaper, plus it's 1 foot longer. So it's always a nice thing, especially since we barely got enough room in here to work. Truck barely fits in here. The back door just barely closes up. You can see it just barely skims this end of the chassis, since this is a long bed, so the chassis is extended a little bit. But yeah, it's a pretty nice shop. We got a really bright light in there. It's kind of hard to look at, but that just runs into the actual workshop. That's a pretty big shop, but we have the cab in there. We have a bunch of tools in there, all kinds of stuff. I just needed something to the point where when I'm ready to pull this motor and I'm ready to paint this, I won't have to worry about it raining, especially since we're just getting out of winter and we're just getting into spring. I know that during these times we get a lot of rain, and I don't want to have to be dealing with that and covering this thing up every night. If you don't know what I did when I had the cab on this truck and was working on it, I had a big trucker tarp and just kind of put it over and made like a little teepee, and then I would make like a little door out of a tarp that I could just open up. I could climb in there. I had a little heater in there. It worked amazing. It's just the fact that did work awesome. It's just the fact that I decided to invest into one of these. It would help out a lot, especially since I work on a lot of projects, and it's portable. So if I ever need to go do some repairs, long-term repairs, I guess you could say, I have somewhere to work. Plenty of space in here. It's actually pretty huge for what it is. This tarp will eventually rip over time. I'm not too worried about that. Replacing a tarp is cheap. If I were to replace this, I'd probably find a trucker tarp like the one that I have. It's just the one that I have isn't big enough to cover this. But I'd probably find a trucker tarp off a semi, and I'd probably just throw that over here, stretch it out, and call it good, because I know that those things are really, really strong. So you can see we got the rear diff painted. I think I already showed most of the stuff that we've done to this truck. Let's hop over to this other side, I guess. Oh, what am I jumping over it for? I can just walk to the other side. It's a little bit tighter on this side than the other side. It's all good though. Over here we got the brake booster and all that. They had to put a new one on, which is pretty cool. Probably keep that. I'm just going to be gutting this, cleaning it up, painting it, calling it good. Front bumper, I'll probably remove this, polish it, maybe keep it chrome. I'll polish it, keep it chrome for now, and then if I want to do a chrome delete, I could always do some vinyl wrap and just wrap the bumper. I think that would be pretty cool. It'll preserve this chrome as well. I can paint the back side of it, since the back side's pretty rusty. Just some surface rust. We're gonna be pulling the radiator, putting a brand new radiator, and this, especially since this one was starting to leak a little bit. Wow. Just in time, because if you guys can't catch that on, I don't think you can catch it on video. I'm hearing either snow or rain. I believe there was snow on the radar, so I'm guessing that it's snow. Kind of sounds like rain though. I just finished up putting up the back side and the front side. Just kind of taped it up there. I know that you're supposed to fish it through those pipes, but I didn't really feel like doing all that work, so I just put the main tarp on, stretched it over. I kind of fished that around those pipes and just kind of strapped them in there. That held them in pretty good. I might have to do a little bit of taping. You can see I just kind of curled it up, stuffed my hands back in there and curled it. That worked amazing. For the top, I just taped it. Same thing for the zipper. Yeah, I think it's snowing out, so that's pretty crazy, especially since we're in March. But that's Iowa for you, so. All right, we're at 11 minutes. I just thought that I would hop on here and show you guys the portable shop, workshop. I wouldn't call this the workshop because we have the workshop over there. That's always going to be the shop no matter what, but this is also a nice spot to work in. You can put a nice little heater in here. It'd also be cool if we could put like a little wood stove in here. I know that they make some stuff to like scab it into plastic to the point where it won't burn. I think it like spreads out the heat of it. I wouldn't trust it in here at all. If I were to put a wood stove in here, I'd probably put some sheet metal, some ribbed steel. But like I said, this is just a portable shop. It's going to be moved, so it's just kind of anchored down to the ground. Hopefully it ain't going to be going anywhere. If it does get windy for whatever reason, I'll probably end up pulling up one of the tractors that we got or a truck or something next to it and just ratcheting it down. That way it doesn't have hopefully any way of going anywhere, unless there's a tornado or something, because I know that those do a lot of damage. But let's just hope that there's none of that. But anyways, we're at almost 13 minutes now, so I think I'm gonna stop the video here. Let's get a good look at it. It's like a big light bulb outside. If you step outside, you just see this entire thing glowing, since this tarp isn't really that thick, and especially since it's a bright color, the light goes through it really easily. I'm probably going to be throwing the trucker tarp that I have just over it, just to make this ceiling a little bit stronger, just in case we do get some snow. It won't sag these down, so I'll probably be doing that. But thank you guys for watching. Going to be doing more updates on this project truck as we make some progress on it, and hopefully we'll have this thing on the road ASAP. Thank you guys. We're out.